You said you wanted to do a sound check before the Mr. Rodeo Scouts get there.
Oh, Mr. Rodeo. Who are you, Mrs. Rodeo? And the two of you could live at Rodeo Shack?
Good stuff, Dale.
So, Jonathan, I want to get a sense from Baskets. You guys, I mean, you have Zach, you have Louie, you have Martha Kelly. I mean, you have the twins. This must be an amazing show to make.
So fun.
Really?
Yeah, because it's just getting together with the best people, funny people, and just, it's a playground to just do stupid stuff.
What do you, I mean, in that, how much of the show is improvised?
I would say 50%.
Really?
I'm coming from Portlandia, which is 100%.
Oh, well, see, your standards, you got that. You got to go there.
And I just, these are people, Louie and Zach and Martha, and the whole cast, like, they know what they're doing. So we would be doing a disservice to them not to allow that.
Pamela, how much of Better Things is improvised?
It's all scripted. We really don't do a lot of improv. And also the three girls who play my daughters are like, if I throw something in, they just stand there like this, like. So it usually doesn't work out so great. Will you give me a break? I have 3 of them, and you know I work. No, he doesn't help. They haven't seen him in like a month.
Hey! Can I ask you something? Could you get pot for me?
What?
Like, don't you want me to have clean, organic pot?
Honey, these things are normal, but you should be ashamed of them.
You're my mom. I want you to know if I have sex or if I want to get high.
Ah!
How much of Philly is improvised?
It's always very scripted, but we improvise. The 3 of us improvise a lot when we're writing it. So it's kind of an improvised script, and then when we get on set, we improvise more. So not a ton of it is improvised when we're actually shooting it, but a lot of it is when we're writing it.
How do you guys, I mean, you guys have been on for 12.
That kind of makes it not improvised, though, in a way. Like
it's improvise-ish.
When you've just turned black and you can't switch back, well, you gotta go and find out the rules.
Well, that's interesting.
Steven, what about on You're the Worst?
No, we don't improvise. I don't allow any improvisation on the show. And it's such an obsession with interviewers about how much is. I always feel really bad. I feel like I'm like it's the wrong answer. But no,
interviewers we often have to improvise, so we go with that question.
Yeah, we spend a lot of time writing it, and then if they don't say the words, I stop everything.
In World War I, the official term for PTSD was cowardice, and he was shot for it.
That is interesting.
It's not enough to be fed a one-size-fits-all cocktail of shut-up pills.
If we had shut-up pills, we would have prescribed them to you by now.
I have a love-hate relationship with improv, and I think that there's a really small pool of people who can really do it well, and then there's a lot of people who also do it, and it just feels kind of sweaty and repeaty, and like it would be better if maybe like someone wrote it beforehand.
In Man Seeking Women, which is it's in its 3rd and final season now, you guys really kind of went for, as we saw, you went for a whole different dynamic than where you started. So I wanted to get a sense of how you guys came to that place.
You know, it was just wanting to be more ambitious in our 3rd season. The first couple of seasons were about things like blind dates and office crushes, and we wanted to tackle an actual adult relationship from its inception through getting engaged all the way to the wedding day. So we thought, why not just take a big swing?
Tough talk today from apartment leaders who are calling for the deportation of boyfriends living illegally in Unit 3R.
Throw everything I own into acid?
No, not everything's gonna fit.
It was a big risk for us. You know, we introduced a brand new co-lead, Katie Finley, who was phenomenal. And we knew if we were gonna do the relationship with any kind of authenticity or honesty, we'd have to do half the episodes from her point of view. So we always had at least one episode a season that was from a different character's perspective, but to switch it up that much was a big risk, and I think Katie really rose to the challenge, and it was awesome to see her just come in and take over the show.
Pamela, on Better Things, Better Things I feel in many ways is one of those shows that is in that new hybrid category of comedy and a drama. But I hate the word dramedy, so I try not to use it too much. But for this show, with you working with Louie, and it feels in some ways that you've really come in the fore, but so much of this character is parts of your life. So how do you create that and then create the division, and where does it go?
It's funny because everybody is taking everything like as like the sacred fact of my life now. So I can't escape it. So if I do something crazy like I rob a bank or I do something rapey or horrible on my show, they'll think I did it in real life, which is like so crazy. So I'm taking situations that happened to me when I was a little girl or happened to my friends when they were kids and putting those into the stories of my daughters on the show and things like that. But I've been collecting stories my whole life, so it's amazing to have that kind of outlet.
Glenn, for you guys, I mean, a dozen seasons in, how do you keep it fresh on Philly?
I don't know. I mean, I think you fill a room with a bunch of really smart, funny people, other than ourselves, because in some ways we are very much out of ideas. I mean, we're always trying to get younger. Now that the show's been on for 12 years, we're getting younger, really smart, funny writers who have been fans of the show since it started, since they were like in college. And we hire a lot of those guys because they, in some ways, they know the show differently, but in an objective way that we don't even know the show. And so it's always great to hear what their point of view is.
And You're the Worst, there's a tremendous balance, I feel, between humor and what I feel are some very, very serious subjects, depression, PTSD, and what have you. How do you guys find the balance?
It's just having an internal calibration for what's interesting, I think, and to not have the fear of staying in some category, which I don't think we do.
I have to ask for baskets. How much crazier can it get?
I try to make it as lame as possible.
You do not succeed.
No.
Big fail there.
But I liked what Stephen was saying. I think that is something, this new tone of you don't have to just say like this is only funny and this is all sort of checked out, removed, like aloof, silly, you know.
Irony and detachment.
Yeah, which is what a lot of sitcoms were. And I think Louis' show really was like, oh my God, this is so funny and so dark and so real and authentic that was inspiring to me, a lot of people, that you could do that. Because I think a lot of comedy is in those little dark moments when you're like, yeah, you are in a hospital room and there's weird stuff. There's like, hospitals are really funny. Like, it's funny to laugh in a really sad moment. Because for me, my mom would always be yelling at me, and I'm just watching this performance of a mom getting so serious, and I would just start laughing all the time. That, to me, is what I try to do on Baskets. It's like, get so dramatic in a real way that you just like, this is too intense. I can't deal with it.